Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hi. Welcome, Gail.
Hi. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Kurt?
Good. I love the symmetry in your background. You got like two guitars and I-
Oh, I didn't take any time to put that together. I did. I was like, my house is a mess. If you saw the rest of my house right now, you would not be impressed. But yeah, this looks like I'm all together, right? Crystals, guitars.
Awesome. Do you do yoga?
You know what? I've tried it a few times. I'm not so great. I like it. I like the stretching part of it, but not really a yogi.
Yeah. The stance you have right now is
Oh,
it's very
yeah.
yoga-esque, I
I
suppose.
do prefer, yeah, to sit on the ground cross-legged for sure.
Yeah. I try to walk around town doing the tree pose and it takes me a lot longer, you know?
Oh my gosh, do you do yoga?
I
You're
used
into it?
to. I used to
Oh
when I was
yeah.
when I lived in Santa Monica, but now in Boise. It's one of those things where like once you've had the best, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah. Yeah. Boise, Idaho, huh?
Yeah, yeah, Boise.
Wow.
Have you been here before?
I think I went through Idaho a long time ago when I was like a teenager, but yeah, I'm not really familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually a pretty good city. I mean, it isn't at this point probably the reddest state in the nation, other than maybe Mississippi or Mississippi.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the policies are just
Well,
crazy.
we need you there though, right? I guess. We need more
Right.
blue people there. Oh my
That's
gosh.
yeah. And you are once again
I'm
in
in Hawaii. I'm in Maui.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, now Maui, was that where the fires took place?
Yes, in Lahaina. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you
Yeah, it's
manage?
been it was 2 years just recently. So yeah.
How did you manage? Were you okay or?
I live on the North Shore, so I'm quite a ways away, but it was all right here on our little island, so everybody was affected. I have really good friends that were deeply affected. So I have so much more compassion now when I hear about a fire in another area
Oh
or a
yeah.
flood or a tragedy, because when you're right there, it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Still healing from it. The island is definitely not back. The town is still gone. Yeah.
right. Just the sensory ev is it a word? Evocation. It must kind of bring
Yeah.
back like just all those feelings and remembrances of places that used to be,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, well,
Collectively,
yeah.
like if you think of collectively the trauma and sadness that was radiating off of this island, you know what I mean? Like everybody felt it. Yeah, it was intense.
Well, that might actually be a good place to start our conversation.
Hmm.
And for those of you who haven't watched any of these videos, um, my name's Kurt. I'm a longtime music journalist, rock critic, whatever you want to call it these days. I'm not a content producer, but I kind of am. But I've been talking with a lot of people, and it's I think we've done about 60, 70 installments at this point. And part of the reason I'm doing this is so that people can feel like they can talk and speak out and,
Yeah.
express their concerns. Because there's so many people in this country and world and, who are isolated and they don't know if they're crazy or not and, what's
Yeah.
happening. And so maybe, hopefully if somebody watches this, they might get a little tiny nugget out of something from just our own experiences.
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah, I'm no expert on the matter, but what I did initially was I was talking with, this is back in March. I started talking with musicians in other countries around the world who were under authoritarian regimes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I did that because I was afraid of what might happen here. And
Yeah.
so it kind of provided this framework for what could happen.
Mm.
And then about like maybe 3 or 4 months after that, when everything really started hitting, um, it was if I felt very fortunate to have that information from those other people in other countries, not only for myself, but to be able to relay that to artists, like what you
Right.
what you may expect. So, And I'm sorry I'm talking so much here. I promise I won't hog the mic.
No,
Um,
no, this is interesting. I didn't know you had interviewed people from authoritarian areas. This is super interesting to me. I'm going to look those up.
yeah, the thing about it is they're all
Mm,
different. We have this general, I guess we do this in everything in life, but like, we have a word and we generalize, and stereotype, and it's just
yeah.
easier. It's just an easier way of communicating for some people. But I will tell you, like, talking with musicians in Hungary versus talking with musicians in the UAE versus talking with musicians in Russia, it's all different. Like, it
Wow,
takes
I
on
bet.
these different forms. Um, but then it was great to be able to impart some of that information to artists because the goal of the series is really to have a discussion with artists about how they're coping and
Mm,
what they can do and what they are doing.
right.
Because, in a lot of ways, I think artists and just people who are sensitive in general just are on kind of the front lines of this, in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. And so and also not only that, but just, in terms of American culture, we don't give artists a lot of space to speak out and do things beyond their own little galleries or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's my morale. But I think you were saying first that um you know everybody collective trauma is the phrase
Collective
you used.
trauma. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious to hear more about that, like how you are. Is it just a feeling, or are you seeing different behavior in people where you are?
That's super interesting that you asked that because I was just talking to some friends yesterday about I keep getting like irritated at the smallest things and I'm quick to be irritated and I remembered my mom was a psychologist and I remembered a long time ago she told me if somebody is angry, usually it comes from a place of fear. And I was thinking, oh my God, like our whole world is afraid right now. So we're all maybe jumping to anger and jumping to irritation. You know what I mean? And which is definitely not helping. So maybe recognizing that and just going, okay, we are really scared, but we got to try to stay positive. I think.
That's such a great point. I don't know if I've heard that mentioned in all the conversations I've had about the subject, but like, I've done plenty of therapy, and I've always been told like, um, if you bottle up enough fear or you experience enough fear, you eventually, in order for self-preservation, have to turn it outward, and it becomes an
Right.
anger, you know,
Wow, that's interesting too. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, but it also, I mean, to take it a step further into, I'm an English major, so I have really a graduate or a degree in BSing. Um, but I guess you could potentially make that argument for like, the animosity and the anger that's on in the rural areas and people who are
Yeah.
tough guys. They just feel disempowered, not just because of
Yeah.
social changes, although that's a big part of it, but because of AI and they don't know what to do with
Yeah.
their lives anymore. I mean, that could be a stretch, but
No, I agree. Who knows what truths are being fed, right? Like
yeah.
they believe Fox News. They believe what they're being told. And yeah, I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine from back where I was from, outside Chicago, and I realized that he has led this really sheltered life. He said something really homophobic to me,
Mm,
and I was like, "You don't? Do you have any gay friends?" I
right.
mean, I've been out in the world since I was 18. I moved to California, Colorado, Arizona, Hawaii. So I've been away from Chicago and out in the world. And he goes, "No, I don't have any gay friends." And I was like, well, that made me think of all these people in these rural areas. They are just so stunted, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
And even the concept of like trans must seem so alien to
yeah,
them. I
yeah,
mean, not to mention that if you are trans, I know a couple young trans people, and they're like gold. Like they don't think about retirement or building a successful career. They think about getting the hell out of the state they're in
yeah.
for their own self. Yeah, it's just it's wild, but but yeah, the exposure thing is a huge part of it too. Just you know,
Hmm.
when you don't when you're not around people who are the same people you demonize, it can fester and create that. Who was they talking to? Who was they hearing the other day who said it was on, I think it was on Stephen Colbert or something, and they were like no, maybe it's Timothy Snyder or something like that, but he
Hmm.
they asked him, you know, if you feel like the political divisions in this country are real. Like if people really believe all these different policies and they think them so strongly that they don't want to talk to each other. And the person's answer was like, that's not the case. Oh, you know who it was? It was Sean Penn. It was Sean Penn.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And he said it's just not the case because when you go out into the world and you're walking around with people and talking with people, people don't want to be enmeshed in this stuff, you know?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I am now I'm really rambling. So I want to ask you, how do you go about um, just sort of, navigating the world? And when you sense you mentioned that you sense this kind of almost palpable feeling of anger and frustration, like
Yeah.
how do you work on that mentally? Do you think of a song that you want to write, or do you just kind of want to go home, or do you try to engage with people, or
I'm super lucky. I have a really good tribe, and I talk to my friends all the time about all this. And I think that it is a really big security blanket. I have these people we all feel the same way. We can bounce things off each other. And yeah, writing music for sure. I mean, I'm writing a song about ice right now. Like music definitely helps to get it out there, get it out of your system. But I think my main thing is just having friends and family that I can talk to about this because it's an intense time right now. Like, who would have ever thought we would be in this position? I would have never in my wildest nightmares thought of this.
yeah, yeah. I hear people say that a lot too, and I agree. And I've only run into one or two people who say that they like, they saw how bad it was going to get, but like,
Mm,
um, what did you think? How did you think it was going to play out? Looking back, maybe either mid last year, or I guess mid 2014 or 2024, or maybe like mid 2015. Do you remember like how you thought worst case scenarios would play out? Can you
God, that's like changed so much in
Yeah.
my mind, right? I went through when Trump was first elected, I was like, oh my God, we're
Hmm.
gonna give this guy the nuclear codes. He's a psychopath. But his first presidency, we survived it. Somehow we survived it. I would have never thought he would have ramped it up the way he did on his second term. Like
Yeah.
this is out of control. The whole thing's so bizarre. I thought that we have Congress and elected officials as safeguards, as guardrails. I thought a president could not do all this stuff. And it's why we elect these people. Like right now, this is their job. Like this is what they got elected for, to protect the democracy, protect the Constitution. And it's so much worse than I would have ever thought it would have been. His first term was horrible. January 6th, I cried when I watched TV. I was like horrified that that could happen. But look at Renee Good last week. I'm horrified. I mean, it's unthinkable what's going on here. This is not our country. This is crazy. And I don't understand why Congress and people can't do something about it, why there are no consequences for these people that are doing these things. Like I'm in shock every day by something else that happens.
Yeah. I mean, for all the different values we have as American citizens, some people place their religious beliefs, over everything else. Some people, it's about community, and some people it's about family. Some people,
Yeah.
but I mean, the there's really no denying that the core commonality we all have that we have in common is freedom, which is rule of law.
Yeah.
And everything that they've been doing, it's like, how can you break a law and nobody is gonna step up and
Right.
arrest these people? It's
Right.
it's terrifying because then you start to think like if we're gonna have 3 more years of this, like
Yeah.
what's gonna stop rampant crime everywhere? I mean, it's already happening, but like um yeah, so I wanted you to kind of dovetail into your family, which is sounds like you really had a special upbringing
Yeah, for sure.
and I love your new single,
Thank
My Mama Marched, which I imagine is that the one that's about ice or is
No, no, the ice one I'm working on. The My Mama March was a song about protesting and getting out there and doing something, you know? And my mom, I spent my whole life trying to write a song about my mom. And I just never could come up with something that did her justice. You know, she's so cool. I loved her so much. So, and honestly, that song came together so fast. I think she wrote it with me. It was like magic, you know?
wow.
But my family, like I grew up, we would get together and have hootenannies and sing folk songs and, um, Martin Luther King, Pete Seeger, like these were the names that were always in my house, you know? My mom, my stepdad was really cool. My sister was really involved. My sister and my mom got out there and marched for ERA when I was
Wow.
actually
Oh, gosh.
running around.
Hmm.
But yeah, she was really very involved. And I mean, I think I said my mom, she helped women escape abusive situations. She did animal therapy. She marched a llama into a courthouse one time because she was, yeah, a llama, full grown, to talk about animal therapy and how it was helping these kids in drug court. So
Oh
I was
my God.
exposed to, my mom was really cool, and
Yeah.
she would be freaking out right now if she was alive. Like even she wasn't even here for his first term, but yeah, she would not believe this is even happening. So that song, I just want to tell people like when you're feeling totally helpless and scared, there is one thing we can do, and that is to get out in the masses and state our case and show how many of us really know what's going on and care.
Right.
So I don't know. But yeah, my family was super cool. Folk singers and yeah, I love them all.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they say the strongest weapon of a authoritarian government or a tyrannical regime or fascist regime, what
Yeah.
have you, is to isolate people. And make
Right.
sure that they're not talking to each other and that they're, in their little cocoons because,
Right.
that's the best way to win for them.
Right.
Um, um, I'm curious. So, like,
Hmm.
given the family history you have, um, when you started becoming a musician, did you find that was like the I guess North Star would be the term I'd use for it. Was that like always kind of maybe even not consciously, but is that kind of why you went into music in a way? And
I don't think so, because when I got into music, all this wasn't happening, or I was way more unaware of what
Mhm.
was happening. You know what I mean? I was just playing and having fun, and it's been great. And I've written songs, so many songs that totally suck, but years and years and years of just trying to find my way. And right now, I found my way. Now I realize this is the most important thing to me,
Yeah.
is to use music in this way. And yeah. And I mean, think back like in the 60s when Dylan and Joan Baez, they would just get out with their guitar and speak out. And Crosby, Stills, Nash, like all those guys, Neil Young, and we need that again. Like this is where we're at now. Like forget all the lights and the trapeze and you know, just put on some jeans and get your guitar and get out there and say something that matters.
Right.
I don't know if we can get back to that point, but I wish we could.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wish we could as well. Um, and it seems like probably not a coincidence that the tech bros have managed to fragment and silo people because it really kind of goes philosophically with authoritarianism in terms of, there is no collect, it's very rare. I mean, I guess there's certain situations like with Twitter where like it really helped the Egyptian uprising and people in other countries can communicate with Twitter and all that. But
Mhm.
by and large, though, it seems like it's harder to form bonds with people. And I've always had this theory that like the best part of the 60s and 70s was like everybody had these set common groups that everybody could agree on, or maybe a few people
Yeah.
didn't like it, but you know, you talk to anybody now, and yeah, some of their top 10 favorite artists, you're not going to hear of five of them at least, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, so who are
Different.
you finding solidarity with then? You know, your fans and your
I really, really love when somebody, excuse me, when somebody drops me a line and says, "My mom marched also." I get that all the time. Oh, my mom marched. We went to marches. I have a friend here. His dad was at the Freedom March where Martin Luther King spoke. And I love those moments. And going to the rallies here and I see young moms with little kids. I love them.
yeah.
I just want to run up and hug them because it's like, okay, you're creating a new generation of people who will stand up.
Mhm.
So I feel the marches give me the fuel. I'm telling you, the rallies are what just make me so joyful. I can't wait till the next one. I love seeing that many people who care. And I'm sure you've read that one thing that said to overturn an authoritarian government, you need 3.5% of the population to be out standing up.
I've heard it over 3.5% to 7%, but yeah, like yeah,
Yeah, I saw that on Rachel Maddow, and it was like,
yeah, she's a thing.
so we don't need that many more than the last one. Like if everybody from the last one brings somebody, we're there.
Right.
We have a concrete goal, is how I feel. Like I need a number.
Yeah,
So
right.
I don't know when the next one is, but it just, people are standing up out there like every single day right now, standing up to ICE fearlessly. Now that we know they can just shoot us and still standing up to them, it's amazing to me. People are so brave and so pissed off.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It kind of speaks to both sides of being an American, which is on the one hand, you know, we are compassionate people if we have the right people in charge. But that
Right.
that's actually not totally the point. The point is like the population and just being decent and kind to one another.
Yeah.
But you know, the other thing that I was going to say as well is, you know, I think a lot of the people who are kind of coming in now are, you know, I don't want this to sound cynical, but they're really concerned for their own well-being,
Yeah.
you know, because like you said, you know, women can get gunned down in their car, like that could be anybody with a car, you know,
Yeah.
and so there's this real kind of merging. Uh, I'm curious if you guys say, yeah, please.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
I was
no.
just clearing my throat.
Okay. I was just gonna say, and this is something I really have I haven't asked this to anybody before, but I'm wondering, because you're in Hawaii and all that, are you noticing like the people who show up for protests do you find that they skew a lot older? And then there's also, you know, there's a good number of Gen Z people, but like maybe, and I don't want to minimize people in this way, but like it seems sometimes I feel like age like I don't know, like 13 or something to like 25 is not as well represented. I could be totally wrong about that, but just
No,
does
I
it,
agree. I
yeah.
totally agree. I think
Mhm.
when I go to these, it is mostly older people.
Yeah.
That's why I especially love the younger ones. It's like, good, go tell your friends, bring them in. But yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. It's such a different world, than my generation had. And
Mhm.
it's like, I don't know. Maybe they're all on their phones and doing selfies. I hate to say that. It's generalizing, but maybe they're just not tuned in to how serious this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
They can't
yeah.
be. They probably aren't. Because if they knew how serious this was, they would be standing up, I
Right.
think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I don't remember that being an issue so much with with George Floyd protests. I felt like everybody was out for those.
Yeah,
And then the women's marches.
yeah,
Um, everybody was out for that. But I like to think, I like to hope that they're developing a new form of protest
yeah.
secretly
Maybe
themselves, you
they
know?
are. Could be. Maybe there's a whole revolution coming up of a younger generation. That would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool. Um, so let's see. I wanted to talk with you because I mentioned the theme of the podcast, I guess they call it, show or whatever, at the beginning. But how, how has what's going on affected your art? And I know you put out that new single and everything. I'm sure there's been a tradition in your music of caring for people and compassion, but just from like a process standpoint and just like lyrical subject matter standpoint, and you
Yeah.
know, song about ice, which is really, really awesome. But can you talk a little bit about how just this environment we're in affects you as an artist?
Yeah. I think certain times of your life, you try to fit into boxes a little more, And
Yeah.
now there's no box for me. I want to say what I want to say. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And I've definitely come to a point, probably with my age also, that I'm like, I'm gonna speak up. If somebody doesn't want me to, to say what I'm saying, then they just need to not listen to my music. Like I'm heavily influenced by artists like Ani DeFranco, who say exactly what she's amazing, right? She says exactly what she means, and she's got this cult following that really is on the same page. And I just really I love that. So I'm just gonna write more songs like this and speak out about things that matter to me. Because at this point, like I'm not trying to be famous or try to sell albums. Nobody even has records or CD players anymore. So it's like I'm just playing to express myself and because I love it. So I'm gonna say what matters to me, hopefully in a way that people can hear. Like I mean, I have to work it out because if I'm playing a gig and it's a mixture of tourists and people who live here and they're out having a good time on vacation, I don't want to like totally bum them out. So there's a little bit of that. Like I'm like, okay, I play My Mama Marched at every gig. It's my favorite song to sing, and people are so nice about it. I've never had anyone say anything negative. Because the funny thing is, like, it's about protesting, it's
uh,
about what's going on, but it's about my mom. So
yeah.
nobody's going to come in and
Yeah.
say anything disrespectful to your mom. So it's kind of, in a way, it made the whole subject easier, I think, for people to hear whether they're on either side.
Yeah. You know what's so fascinating?
Probably,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, I
I
was
was-
going to say there's probably Trumpers once in a while where I play, and they probably aren't even listening anyway. So,
yeah. You haven't watched The Room,
yeah,
as comedians say.
yeah,
Right. But that's the thing that really um that kind of that I find very, very fascinating is the conservative movement, especially during Obama, was like, we need to return to traditional
yeah,
American values and nostalgia. Um, and now that, people are engaging in nostalgic traditions like marching,
yeah,
they can't accept that's not part of their nostalgia. It's
yeah,
a
right.
question, you know?
Yeah,
Um, it's like I think their version of nostalgia seems to be like pre-19th century, I think,
yeah, no kidding.
which is which is crazy. Do you feel the same rush and just like feeling of purpose and excitement after after you go to a rally as you do after you perform on stage, or is it different?
It's different. It's different because those rallies are such a group. Man, I don't know. I don't know. When I perform, it's like kind of a rush, and I love it. And there's always a bunch of friends there, and it's super fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, different, I think, different because it's political. When I march, it's full on political. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's social justice, and let's get out there and do this. When I play, I mix in, and I might play the Beatles. I don't know. Everything's mixed in when I play. Music is a different entity,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really love being able to bring music into how I feel about the world, you
Mm.
know,
Mm. And
and
yeah, good.
maybe it's a way to get people to listen to a point of view. I don't know. But, I really do surround myself with like-minded people. Like my friends are like, yeah, yeah, go, go. You know, I guess the test is when someone's on the other side and they hear me, I don't know. I never really hear anything from them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I want
Um,
to come play in Idaho.
what's that? Sorry.
Because
Yeah.
you tell me it's all
Yeah.
red. I'm like, kind of
I,
scared of that.
well, I qualify that by saying that it tends to be the case that, from what I've gathered, like um, red states, the biggest city in a red state is tends to be blue.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah, yeah. And so like
Hmm.
a lot of musicians and artists like to come here because they know that their audience is going to be there. It's not just they
Oh,
hear people.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Um
do want to play there then.
yeah, you should, no, you should. Yes.
You in Boise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially if you're into exercising and all that. It's a nice place to be. But the other thing too is like, going around neighborhoods,
Yeah.
and seeing people with resistance flags and signs. I mean, it feels right now like it's campaign season because there's so many yard signs.
Really?
But to me, like that shows like even more guts and courage than somebody who could do that in like California,
Yeah,
where it's
totally.
more accepted. So you meet those special
Definitely.
people and everything. Yeah. Um,
Takes courage for sure.
yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Can you talk about what other new music you have coming up? Like, is it gonna, did you decide consciously to like take any different direction this time around, or did you experiment
Um,
with some new ideas, or?
you know, I think it's one song at a time for me right now. Like I'm not gonna do whole albums anymore. I'm just gonna
Oh,
release one song at a time, and
oh,
because that's just what you do now, right?
yeah.
But I am writing this song about ice, and it's a
Mhm.
from the perspective of a 10-year-old girl
Mhm.
that they come to her door, and I'm trying to figure out ways to write about these issues without making it so literal, you know.
Mhm.
So from the perspective of, I don't know, the one's about my mom, but it is about everything. This one's going to be about a 10-year-old little girl who's, being taken by ice. And then I don't know what's next, I mean, I'm not going to just write protest songs for sure. I have, plenty of breakup songs still in me. And, pissed off chick rock, you know. But, I don't know. I kind of don't know. Things come to me when they come to me. I wrote a song about our inner voice that's so
Mhm.
mean to us, like called Don't Talk to Her That Way, because we're all so hard on ourselves. And, so I wrote a song about that. And I guess maybe going a little deeper and being a little more abstract and not worrying so much about fitting in a box or who's gonna like it, you
Yeah.
know.
What
So
a
maybe that's my new direction. Just be totally real.
that's one of the best song titles I've heard in a while. That's such a clever,
Oh, thanks.
more than clever. It's just it's a play on words, but also it has such deep emotional resonance.
Yeah.
So that's a
Oh,
wonderful
thanks. I'll
thing.
send it to you when I record it. I haven't recorded it yet.
Please, yeah, no, please do.
Yeah.
And are you going to be touring as much?
You never know. I'm going to play in Austin at this Luck reunion, which is at Willie Nelson's ranch. So he has this whole western town on the property that was built for the Red-Headed Stranger as a movie set. And so it's turned into
Really?
a music venue. Yeah, it's amazing. And it's a music venue now. So every March they do Luck Reunion, and it's just a bunch of different stages. One venue is the saloon, one venue is the church, one venue is the main stage. So they have all these different things going on, and it's only, I think, 5,000 people can come. It's not big.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. And I'll probably, I mean, I play in Italy when I go see my friends in Italy. I usually play over there. Yeah, I'll do some shows here and there. I'm not the type of person that would go out on a full-time tour. I like, I like being home on Maui. I can't, I'd burn out on there. I don't know how those guys do that. But it is fun, and I've got friends kind of spread out all over the US, so good to go see them and play.
It's awesome. Yeah, I can't
Pays
imagine.
for vacations. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have 2 minutes left, and the last question I wanted to ask you was, do you feel like folk music um, is the strongest form of protest music?
I don't know if it's the strongest, it's my favorite,
Yeah.
but I certainly think that they can do the same thing with country and rap and everything else and pop. I just think, the big artists are they're stuck because they got their labels and their managers and their publishers, and their rules. But when you find the artists that can speak out, I think they can use any genre. I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Have
But
you?
folk is my roots for sure.
Sure, yeah. Do you know many other musicians who are friends of yours who don't want to talk about these politics? I think you
Yeah,
mentioned this
I know
before.
people that,
Yeah.
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 They can't, they don't want to lose maybe some fans. But I'm little. I don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a big fan base and I'm worried about losing any of them. I just like my small fan base that's nice people. I
Yeah.
just don't have to worry about it. I don't have a label. I don't have a manager. I get to do whatever I want. So, just like my mom, super independent, doing everything my own way, and I'm lucky. But yeah, I do think some people are stuck and held back by the rules.
Yeah. And they don't want to divide their fan base and lose their money.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
so
look at the Dixie Chicks. They
yeah.
were the best. I loved
Yeah.
them. And that whole thing with Bush,
Remember that.
just, it was horrible. So I don't blame people for holding back if they need to. But, they'll express themselves other ways, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for talking with me. This has been such a pleasure.
Me
Um,
too. Thank you, Kurt. You are so sweet. I
I
love
really,
talking to you.
I love talking to you too, and I hope we can do it again.
Me too.
Your perspectives are totally fresh and new, and this has paid off higher than my expectations were. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Okay, God, I just realized wanted to mention the people that helped me on that video and everything, but I didn't really get to talk about that. I kind of spaced it out.